Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learn with Dr. Kizar. In today's video we are going to continue the problems on income from capital gains. If you remember, in the previous video we solved a problem on income from capital gains with exemption under section 54F. Today also in this session we are going to continue one more problem for your better understanding on exemption 54F. This is the part 21st video of this series. So let us start and see the problem. If you have not gone through my previous problem, kindly go through with that, okay, so that it will be very easy to understand this problem also. Okay. So here comes the problem. This question I have taken from the exam question paper 2018. The question states that Shri Atmanand submits the following particulars of the assets sold during the year 2018-19. They have given particulars and three different categories of assets and details of that. Sale proceeds they have given for all the three assets. Brokerage paid on sale, it is given for plot. Then cost of acquisition, it is given for all three assets. Year of acquisition is given for all three assets. Cost inflation index is given for all three assets. Date of sale is given for all. Adjustment says he purchased a residential house for rupees 9 lakh on 25th March 2019, on which date he did not own any other residential house property. So this will be our highlighting point on exemptions to work on. Now they are asking whether Shri Atmananda is eligible to claim exemption under section 54F. So clearly they have given which exemption is he eligible to claim or not. We have to identify and tell them. Then calculate his taxable income from capital gain for the assessment year 2019-20. Cost inflation index is given for the previous year. So details of few things are given. So let us try to understand the question first. Later we will solve the problem. Who is the assessee here? Assessee is Shri Atmananda. So question tells that he has submitted the following particulars of assets sold during the year 2018-19. So he has sold some assets. Okay. So what are those assets? One is gold, other is securities, and one more asset is plot. Three assets are given. Details of that, as we saw just now, it is given. So I think we can start the problem. Okay, and here this is the highlighting point. Okay, I have highlighted to you because it is the thing to decide whether 54F can be claimed or not. Okay, so we will see the rules of 54F and we will find out whether 54F section can be, exemption can be claimed or not. And they are also asking us to calculate the taxable capital gain for the assessment year 2019-20. Right. So answer starts here. Computation of taxable income from capital gains. Format remains the same. Assessee is Shri Atmananda, and residential status, it is not given, so we have written as assumed to be resident. Previous year is 2018-19, assessment year is 2019-20. So here is the problem given. Okay. So because all the assets are sold in the same previous year, okay, and I have solved a problem because all are long-term capital assets. So let us find how I have declared it as long-term capital asset. To find out whether the asset is long-term capital asset or not, we need to see the category of asset first. Then we need to identify what type of asset it is. Right. So here gold is given. It was purchased. Year of acquisition is given here. It was purchased in 2008, sold in our previous year in June 2018. So more than a period of holding is there here, so it can be considered as long-term capital assets. Similar way, securities, they are Financial assets, so here also 2013-14 they purchased and they sold in 2019, so more than period of 1 year it is. So this is also qualifies a long-term capital asset. And plot is given, this comes under other assets. 2004-5 is the purchase date and sale date is 30th August 2018, so more than a period of 3 years. Okay, it is also a long-term capital asset. Just a revision to you people, just to remind you, we have 3 categories of assets, right? Not here, generally in rules, one is financial asset, other is depreciable asset, and one more is other assets. Financial assets, the criteria to declare short term or long term is 1 year. Less than 1 year short term, more than 1 year long term. Depreciable assets, always they are short term in nature, and other assets criteria is 3 years. Less than 3 years it is short term, more than 3 years it is long term, right? So because here the years are more than the specified thing, so it will be considered all the 3 assets as long term in nature. Let me highlight this so that it will be easy for you people to compare this. Okay, year of acquisition and date of sale. Okay, so if you compare this, you will get the duration. So here I have declared as long term capital asset for all, because based on the holding of the asset. Okay, purchase date to sale date, purchase date to sale date. Here also purchase date to sale date I have taken. Okay, so that's the reason I have combined the assets and done the problem. You can do separately if you get confused here. Okay, so this method will save the time, but I suggest you people to follow this combined method only when you are not having any confusion. If you get confused, then do separately. Separate format for gold, separate format for securities, separate format for plot. Okay, you can do in that way also. So let us start. So because the assets here are long term in nature, so long term capital gain format we need to apply. The format starts like this: gross sale consideration. What is the value of sale? Okay, done. Okay, let us see what is the sale value. Sale proceeds here they have given us 4 lakh, 1,50,000 and 20 lakhs. 4 lakh for gold, 1,50,000 for securities, and 20 lakhs for that is plot. So simultaneously let us write that also. So 4 lakh for gold, 1,50,000 for securities, and 20 lakhs for the plot, right? Then with that we are going to subtract the realization expenses. What are realization expenses? These are the expenses which is incurred to sell or transfer the particular asset. So here they have given as brokerage paid on sale. Brokerage will be usually charged when you transfer or sell the asset. Clearly they have also mentioned on sale. Okay, for gold there is no brokerage, for securities there is no brokerage. Only for prod 2% they have given. 2% on what amount? 2% on sale amount we are going to consider. Okay, so let us write for gold it is nil, for securities it is nil, and here we have to calculate. So if you calculate how much is the value of plot, it is 20 lakhs multiplied by what is the percentage they have given? Percentage is 2%. So 20 lakhs into 2 divided by 100, if you do, you will get 40,000. So this is the realization expenses. Hope this is clear. Once you minus this 2, you will get the net sale consideration. So here it will remain 4 lakhs for gold, 1,50,000 for securities, and for plot, okay, you will minus with the amount. So 20 lakhs minus 40,000 if you do, it will be 19,60,000. So we got net sale consideration also. Next, as per the format of long-term capital gain, indexed cost of acquisition to be calculated. Okay, for calculating that we have a formula. Indexed cost of acquisition equals cost of acquisition divided by cost inflation index of the year of acquisition multiplied by cost inflation index of the year of sale. Whenever we sell the asset, so that we have to consider. Okay, so this is the format. So first let us do for gold. So for gold, what is the cost of acquisition? We need to see. Let us come back to the question. Cost of acquisition for gold is 60,000 rupees. Okay, we will write here 60,000. Then what they are asking, cost inflation index of year of acquisition. When did we purchase gold? In the year 2008-9 we purchased the gold, and for that year, here itself they have given the cost inflation index. It is 137. So write that 137 divided by 137 multiplied by cost inflation index of the year of sale. So we sold this asset in 2008 June, right? Means 2018-19 the cost inflation index is given here. It is 280. So let us write 280. So if you substitute now 60,000 divided by 137 multiplied by 280, if you do, you will get 1,22,627.73. So we have made as 1,22,628 rupees. Hope this is clear to you. So we have done with gold. Now let us similar way do for securities. What is the cost of acquisition for securities? Cost of acquisition for securities is 40,000 rupees, right? So we will write 40,000 divided by cost inflation index of year of acquisition. When did we purchase this? We purchased in 2013-14, and in that year cost inflation index is given 220. Okay, so we will write 220 divided by 220 multiplied by, in the year of sale, okay, cost inflation index was 280. Okay, because it was sold in 2019, so this January 2019 falls in the year 2018-19. Okay, because our financial year starts from 1st April 2018 and ends with 31st March 2019. So January 2019 falls in 2018-19 year. So 280 will be your cost inflation index. So if you substitute here, what will be the answer? 40,000 divided by 220 multiplied by 280. If you do, you will get 50,909. So that is for your securities. 50,909 we got, right? So this also we have done. So let us write in securities 50,909, that is indexed cost of acquisition. Similar way we will do for now plot. So what is the value of plot? We purchased for 1,40,000, right? Okay, let me highlight. So 1,40,000 is the cost of acquisition we purchased. So cost of acquisition. When did we purchase? In the year 2004-5 we purchased. In the year 2004-5, how much is the cost inflation index? It is 113, correct? It is 113. So 1,40,000 divided by 113. And when did we sell? 2018 August. So 2018 August falls in our previous year 2018-19. So that is 280. So 140 divided by 113 into 280 we have to do. So here it is 1,40,000 divided by 113 into 280. If you do, you will get the answer. Okay, let us check how much is the answer. 1,40,000 divided by 113 multiplied by 280. If you do, you will get 3,46,902.65. Okay, so you can take as 903. So that also we have considered here. So now we completed indexed cost of acquisition for all the three assets. Now next, as per the format, it is indexed cost of improvement. So in the problem, no improvement details are given. Okay, it is nil for all the three assets. Hope you are understanding this. Okay, now to arrive at gross capital gain, you should minus net sale consideration with indexed cost of acquisition, indexed cost of improvement. So if you minus this, you will get the answer of 1,22,628, 50,000. Sorry, not this one. So if you minus net sale consideration of 4 lakhs for gold with cost inflation index, indexed cost of acquisition of 1,22,628, you will get the answer of 2,77,372. Let me show for one. and rest will be similar. So 4 lakh is the net sale consideration for gold, minus 1,22,628 is the cost of acquisition, indexed cost of acquisition for gold. There is no indexed cost of improvement, 0. So if you do, you will get 2,77,372. Similar way you will do for securities, and you will do for plot. So you will arrive at gross capital gain. Okay, these are the final answers, gross capital gain. Now with this you are going to subtract the exemption. As in this question it is asked that whether 54F is applicable or not. So we need to understand. So to understand this, we need to first go through with the format of details of 54F. So what details says here? So section 54F, first condition is only individuals or HUF can claim. In our problem, Mr. Shri Anantram itself, right? Yeah. So the assessee is an individual. So first condition is satisfied. Second condition is capital asset which is sold can be any long-term capital asset other than residential house property. So we are not selling a residential house property in our problem. We are selling gold, we are selling securities, and we are selling the plot. Correct? So all these three assets are non-residential house property. So second condition is also satisfied, and they are long-term in nature also. Third condition says that they should have purchased the new residential house within 1 year or 2 years after the date of transfer, or they would have constructed the house. If they have not purchased, they would have constructed house within 3 years after the transfer, or they would have deposited amount in capital gain account scheme on or before the due date. So among this 3 points, I think if you notice now in the question, I have highlighted he has purchased a residential house for 9 lakhs on 25th 3/2019, on which date he did not had any other residential house. So third condition also we will satisfy, so we will analyze. Fourth condition says that assessee should not own more than one residential house other than the new house on the date of transfer. It is clearly mentioned in the question. Now the problem here is we have three different assets, right? So which one to first compare? So it is completely that is, we can declare that 54F can be applied here. So which asset we should apply? So whose our net sale consideration is highest? So that we will consider first. So here gold, it is 4 lakhs. Securities net sale consideration is 1,50,000, and plot is 19,60,000. So first we will declare for 19,60,000, that is plot. So here if you see, I have written as plot 1. Then I have written gold 2 because the next highest is for gold, that is 4 lakh, and third will be securities because it is 1,50,000. So based on these amounts we are going to calculate based on the net sale consideration. Okay. So now we are clear now that we will compare and declare the 54, apply the 54F section exemption for plot. Okay. So let us see what the rule says. As the cost of new house, okay, let me first come back here. So all four conditions are satisfied. Now we are applying 54F, that is one clear. Now what is the amount of exemption we should give? If the cost of a new house is more than the net sale consideration, entire gross capital gain is exempted. Now we should see how much is the cost of new house. 9 lakh rupees, I think. Cost of new house is 9 lakhs. Cost of new house is 9 lakhs. And what is the net sale consideration for plot? It is 19,60,000, which is highest here. Net sale consideration here highest. But here the first point says that if cost of house is more than the net sale consideration, entire gross capital gain is exempted. Means for plot, first condition is not applicable. Let us see second condition. It is opposite. If the cost of new house is less than the net sale consideration, this formula we will apply and we are going to use it. So second condition will be applicable here for the plot. So here you can see, as the cost of new house is 9 lakh rupees, which is less than the net sale consideration of plot, that is 19,60,000. So proportionate deduction can be claimed. using this formula. What is gross sale consideration of plot? It is 16,13,097. So that you take divided by net sale consideration. It is 19,60,000 that you write, multiplied by cost of new house. If you substitute this formula, already we have done in the previous question also. Just for a practice, one more problem I am doing here. So 16,13,097 divided by 19,60,000 multiplied by 9 lakhs. If you do, you will get 7,40,707.80. So we will take 708, round off. Hope you have understood this, because here the new house cost is less and net sale consideration of plot is more, so formula is applicable. If suppose net sale consideration was more and new house cost is if new house cost is more and net sale consideration is less, in that case full capital gain, gross capital gain will be exempted. But here, because it is not so, in that case apply the formula and we got 7,40,708 right in exemption for plot under section 54F. Okay. Now coming to the second item, as I told you that based on the net sale consideration value, highest value will be considered in a sequence. So next comes our gold, because the value of gold net sale consideration is 4 lakh. Then comes the securities. So this sequence will follow for the benefit of tax. So here if you see, next thing, as full amount of 19,60,000 towards 9 lakhs is taken. So now amount available is to disperse for gold and securities, right? So here you need to understand completely. Now we don't have any amount, because full 9 lakh rupees of purchase value is applied for plot itself. Okay, though we are giving exemption of 7,40,708 here, but if you compare 19,60,000 rupees, okay, which was more than our new house value, okay, in that case full 9 lakh rupees we have utilized comparing with this itself. So we don't have any amount to give for gold nor for the securities. In that case it will be nil for this too. Now comes the taxable long-term capital gain. How much it will be? So let us calculate here. Hope you are not getting confused. So now to arrive at taxable capital gain, we have to see gross capital gain. First we will do for gold. So gross capital gain for gold is 2,77,372 minus nothing is there, so it will remain 2,77,372 itself, right? We'll copy the same thing here. Similar way for securities also, if you see, gross capital gain is 99,091 and no deductions. So same value we will write here also. It is taxable value. But here in case of that is plot, the value is gross capital gain is 16,13,097. That will be subtracted with 7,40,708. So you will get 8,72,389. 8,72,389. So these are the final values. Okay. Hope you have understood this. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Okay. Just to understand, make you understand, that is, if there is no amount left out, what we need to do? We need to just leave as it is. No exemptions will be given. Okay. Only we had 9 lakh rupees here. Okay. The new house value that we completely utilized comparing with 19,60,000. Okay. So in that case, full value of house is used. In the previous problem, if you see, okay, we had the amount. Okay. That's the reason we gave for the other assets also. Okay. Always compare new value, house value, with the net sale consideration. Okay. Do not compare with the amount you are giving. Okay. So here I have written clearly, as full amount of 19,60,000 towards 9 lakh is taken. So no amount is available to disburse for gold and securities. So don't get confused with 7,40,708. This is the amount of claim, but for a disbursement we need to consider net sale consideration amount, which is 19,60,000. Here in this problem, in which 9 lakh is included for comparison. Okay, so hope this is clear to you. Okay, see you in the next video. I think another 3 problems we are going to solve. Okay, this problem was asked in 2018 question paper. Okay, you practice well. If you have doubts, ask in the comment section. Kindly mention whether you have understood or not in the comment section, so that I can understand. Okay, you are following the sessions clearly. Okay, many people are clarifying the doubts through WhatsApp also. Okay, anyways, those who are comfortable in mentioning in the comment section, kindly mention it, so that if it is public, then others also can see the comment, read it. Okay, if they had the similar doubts, they can easily understand the doubt and they will clarify it. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video. Okay, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe right now, so that you will get the latest notification by pressing the bell icon. If you like this video, kindly hit the like button also.